Hey everybody, how's it going? Today I'd like to talk a little bit about the Streisand Effect. You may notice that the Day 39 renovation video that I did has been removed from my playlist. It is no longer available on YouTube. That is not because I decided to erase it. That is because it received a privacy complaint, which in my opinion was invalid. In that video, I talk about publicly available information, publicly available news articles, publicly available court documentation. All of it is stuff that you can find on your own. So, I hired a contractor whose name I'm not going to mention because I don't want there to be an excuse for this video to be removed as well. This contractor did what I find, in my opinion, to be bad work. They changed out materials from the contract in the middle of the project. Regardless of the materials used, the workmanship, in my opinion, and the opinions of thousands of commenters, was quite poor. You could see when we ripped up the work how it was put together poorly, why things were squeaking. This contractor's own employees told me about the quality of the work that he did, how he'd been kicked off of many other jobs, and told me he was pointing to things that I'm not even going to bring up in this video, saying you need to have that redone if you hire someone else. Don't let that stay there. And that was a point that I chose to fire that contractor. They did not return money for the work that they never even got around to doing, nor did they return any of the money for the supplies that they never actually purchased. So what I did in my Day 39 video is I did a lot more digging on some court websites where you can look up court documents and so on and so forth. And what I found is that a prior client of his had sued him. And what they alleged in their suit, from my interpretation of the court documents that I'll link below, is that they sued him because he didn't complete the work, but he sent them photos of the work saying, look, this is the work that I did. And then when the clients actually showed up at the site, they saw that none of that work had been done, which meant that the photos were either photos of another job or doctored photos. Now, from what I see from those court documents, it doesn't look like the contractor ever defended himself. It's not even like he said, no, that was the other room, or no, I did do it, you're just making that up, or no, you're looking at different pictures, or you have the wrong there was no excuse. He didn't show up. He never even defended himself. So the client got a default judgment. Now, the contractor, from other publicly available records, filed for bankruptcy. Then, from these publicly available records, I was able to find that he failed at getting bankruptcy protection. Within 24 hours of failing to get bankruptcy protection, the publicly listed address for his services on BuildZoom burned down, according to a news article that I was able to find, which was also publicly available. I found all of this to be kind of strange, as many people should. Everything that I discussed was from publicly available court documents, publicly available news articles, publicly available profiles. None of this was private. And the reason that I think it is in the public interest that this video stay up and that this information be available is because of the method by which this particular contractor, whose name I won't mention, gets their business. He offered Steve and I a 5% commission if we are able to get him another job. What that means is that if we refer a $100,000 job to this contractor, that I'll get $5,000. That seems to be the only reason that I can conjure in my head as to why it was that other people positively referred this contractor to me. I was getting dicked around by other contractors. Then people that I knew said, no, you need to reach out to this guy. He does good work. And looking at the history, looking at how he did this job, looking at how he dealt with us, speaking to some of his past clients, looking at the court documents, I can't imagine that he was recommended to us based on quality. In my opinion, he was recommended to us because the people who recommended him to us got paid. I can only imagine the size of the referral network that's been created by someone who's been doing this for 10 or 20 or 30 years. There's probably lots of people out there that want to get paid a commission that are going to recommend him regardless of the quality of his work, which is why, as I heard from someone who was working with him, that he gets kicked off of all these jobs, but somehow, nobody knows how, he keeps getting new jobs. I believe he keeps getting new jobs because of this referral thing. And the thing is that when I originally did just a basic preliminary lookup, all the things that are showing up on Google on page 1 now did not show up on page 1 on Google 4 months ago. I think it's a public service that people understand this business model, that they understand the truth of this person's past experiences, so that they can make an informed decision before spending 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 or so on $1,000. It's been my experience in my own life when I was younger in my teenage years and less mature, that anytime I tried to suppress this type of information, that it just came to the forefront more and more. So the more I would try to suppress it, the more it would come to the forefront, the more people would notice it, the more people would laugh at me for the thing that I was trying to suppress. That doesn't work. And I don't believe it's going to work here. I don't think that if you get my video deleted from YouTube, that it's actually going to erase the public perception and the reality of the situation. That newspaper is not going to take that article down. Those court websites are not going to take those court documents down. None of these publicly available documents will stop being publicly available. Further, I don't think that people are going to forget the experience. They're not going to forget the individual, their company, just because one video goes down. Every time I've tried to suppress something in my life that I thought I can't let other people know that this happened. Let me try to get this deleted. Let me try to get this post deleted. Let me try to tell this person they can't tell anybody. The exact opposite happens. That's the Streisand effect. And I learned that when I was probably 13 or 14 when I first got the internet. So I find it interesting that someone who's seemingly twice my age doesn't seem to understand the Streisand effect. Now, I know that with YouTube, the way YouTube works, I can't contact anybody for this. There's not an appeal button on a privacy claim. There's not a give us our side of the argument here. That's why I pay $950 a year to use another website, whose name I'm not going to mention here because I don't want this video to have an excuse to be taken down. My subscribers are intelligent people. I'm sure you'll be able to figure out where it is I'm talking about. I pay $950 a year to have my videos hosted on another site. Admittedly, I haven't done the best of jobs in maintaining this. I haven't uploaded all the videos I have here to there. I'd like to do that, but the problem is I have to categorize and rename and like 1,300 different things and then upload it there and categorize it all over again, which I just haven't had the time to do. And it's something that I would like to start taking more seriously. I'm going to start uploading videos to that website first before YouTube, because if something goes wrong with that website, since I am an actual paying customer, they have a vetted interest in actually giving me customer service because they are not attached at the hip to a multi-billion-dollar company that simply allows them to lose as much money as they want. They actually care about my business. I get paid if you watch my videos on YouTube. I have to pay for you to watch these videos on this other website. But I'd actually prefer it if people watch my videos on this other website than here. Even though I pay to be there, I get paid to be here, I'd rather you go there. Because if you go there and you watch my videos there, I know for a fact that there's not going to be this random chance that things are just deleted without recourse and that I have nobody to talk to. I can speak to people at that other website. They have customer service. I pay them. There is a relationship there. That relationship doesn't exist on this website. And while I value YouTube, while I value the recommendation algorithm, while I value the fact that they've given me a platform to host my content on, and that's allowed me to gain an audience of 1 million people, teach tens of thousands of people how to fix boards, get people interested in right to repair, I genuinely appreciate that. I cannot continue to treat this, I shouldn't be treating this as the primary platform I use for my stuff if a bogus privacy claim is a claim that wins at the end of the day. And that seems to be what happened here. And a message to that individual, I don't think you're going to be successful with removing what people have to say about you, particularly if what they're saying about you is, or reviewing is just the truth about your past. If you want that information scrubbed from the internet, that's not going to work. In my opinion, what works best is dealing man to man with the people that you've done wrong and working with them and trying to repent for it. I have made many bad decisions over the course of my life. I've said things that I shouldn't have said. I've done things I shouldn't have done, and I felt very stupid and awful afterwards. I've taken on jobs that I shouldn't have taken on, that I probably knew I shouldn't have taken on in the beginning, but I took them on because of bravado or ego and done something very wrong. I'm not a perfect person. I am a fuck-up, if anything. And I know what it's like to have to come crawling back and ask for forgiveness or try to make things right even when I don't know how to make things right, or even if I know somebody's still going to be mad at me. At the very least, they're this mad at me rather than that mad at me. I've had that experience. But my life's experience has told me that that has worked better than trying to just delete it. It doesn't work. I understand what it's like to screw up because I've screwed up many times before. And regardless of how aggravated or angry or agitated I can be at the loss of a large sum of money, if someone tries to make things right, I'm open to it. I really am. I'm open to have it be water under the bridge. I'm open to redemption and second chances. But what I don't respond well to is when people simply try to erase just like it didn't exist. That's not going to work. It hasn't worked in the past. It's not going to work going into the future. These newspapers are not taking down those articles. The court documents are still going to be up. People will still be able to find them. And if people realize that you're actively trying to have this information deleted, they're just going to post it more and more and more and more and more. If you try to have a video taken down, it's just going to wind up getting re-uploaded. If you try to have information removed, it's just going to get archived somewhere else. That's not a working strategy. You have my name. You have my phone number. You have Steve's phone number. We've called you. We've texted you. We haven't heard back. The only thing that I've heard back is a privacy complaint. That's not the way this works. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something.